one day I was jogging, exercising, you know, on the track at TAM, and I noticed a bump in my leg. And the bump, I knew didn't feel right. Didn't feel right. So I went into the doctor's, and the doctor said, "Oh, it's nothing, you're worrying. You're worrying for nothing." And so I didn't do anything about it for a while because the doctor sort of teased me. I went and got a second opinion. And the second opinion, they said, "Oh, you know, there's only this one rare cancer, so maybe you should get an MRI." But then insurance didn't cover the MRI, so I didn't get it, and I let it go again. And then it just started growing and growing and growing. And finally, one day, two people that knew me very well and saw me almost every day said, "Elizabeth, something is wrong with your leg." And I went back to the doctors, and it was November, right before Christmas, 7 years ago. I went back to the doctor, and I said, "Look, I know you said it was nothing, but can you please look at it again?" And I knew I was in trouble when the doctor looked at it and gasped. And he just went, "Oh." And then he called another doctor in, and the second doctor went, "Oh." And I knew right away something was really wrong by the way they were acting. So then I knew for sure I had cancer. And I did. And when they asked me, when they finally decided what type of cancer it was, and they asked me what I wanted to do with it, what did I want to do about the fact that I had cancer? And I said, I want it out of my body. I want it the fuck out of my body, is what I said. And that was the first start to sort of a massive change in my life. My perspective shifted. My whole reality shifted. I had to survive now, and I had to survive for my kids. And of course, ask for my community support, everybody at school and the mothers of all the other children and people that knew me in the community and my Sangha really came to my aid. I was shocked and surprised. They had a fundraiser for me, and they raised money because insurance didn't cover everything. They brought me food. They brought my kids food. They took care of my kids. You really get clarity when you think that you're going to die. I really sort of stood at the door between life and death. And I was just standing there while I was in cancer, having the treatments, hoping it would go away, not sure if it would. And you're standing at that gateway and pondering that you could never come back, and pondering life. So never coming back was, wow, that's so scary. And life became so much more precious. Everything I did, if I turned the radio on, it was a good song, and it was a sunny day, I was on top of the world. Even though I had cancer, everything felt so much more important. So much more important. Every minute with my daughter, every minute with the kids, felt so much more textural and flavorful and, vivid, because I thought, it could be my last. Death stopped looking so scary, and it started looking more of a way out, like a release. So instead of death, as I'm standing there still in this door, this gateway between death and life, death started looking not so bad. Life started looking a little more difficult than death. And I think a lot of people that get really sick go through that, because at some point there's diminishing returns of, do you really want to stick around and go through the hell of treatment? Do you want to do that and keep going? Or do you want to, go into some sort of quiet, calm, other world? I don't even know what it is. I stopped thinking that I knew what it was. It was just a place where you no longer had your body, so there couldn't be that kind of suffering anymore. And that subject started to fascinate me. Death no longer scared me. Death became another choice, another place to go, another part of our life cycle. As soon as I got better, I started wanting to give back. I just felt so lucky that I had survived, that there was some part of me that needed to make everything more meaningful. I started volunteering with hospice, and with the elderly. And because I was not scared of death, I was really useful, because I'd been there. I'd seen that. I'd been that. I'd been that. Are you choosing life still? And if they were still choosing life, I was going to help them be comfortable in whatever life they wanted to still have, and keep them feeling loved. Keep them feeling not alone. Everybody dies just like everybody's born. Like the ending transition of my recovery was really changing my life into helping other people. All the basics seemed so much more important and so much more interesting to me than the big things, or the expensive things. You know, I think it made me a better person, even though I wish I had never gone through it.